Finally, it's gone. Well, I'm Dangerous Runner on route. Now, a lot of runners consider a black toenail a badge of honor. And I kind of get that. If you're running enough miles and enough time where you're getting a black toenail, you're a runner. Those people go out and run a couple of miles, a couple times a week. They're probably not getting black toenails, but not you or me. We're runners and we get them. But I kind of consider it kind of more of a nuisance. It kind of looks ugly, don't really like it, takes forever to grow out. So I thought I'd talk today about some of the causes and things you can do to maybe minimize getting those nasty black toenails. Medically, the black toenail is known as a subungual hematoma, and which means it's a blood blister on your nail, and that's what causes the trauma to the nail, causes bleeding, and that's why it looks black, looks dark. Now, there are some non-trauma reasons for getting a black toenail. In other words, if you get a black toenail, you didn't run, didn't drop a can of peaches on it, and you still got a dark discolored nail, you might want to get that checked out medically. Maybe, I understand, some fungal infections can cause it. First time I went to a dermatologist, she gave me an exam. It was a nurse practitioner, and I had a black toenail. She looked at it, she got a little concerned because you can get melanoma under your nail. I did not know that, so she was a little concerned about that. I had to talk to her. Then I had to talk to a doctor. I finally convinced him it was from running, and I got him not to rip my toenail off, so that worked out okay. However, if you do get one from running, but you're not having problems with it, no, it's not giving you pain, it's not bulging, it's not lifting up off the nail bed and causing problems, you can just let it grow out, which is what I did. Now, the one that I had, I actually got in a trail marathon in June of 2021, and it did not completely grow out until September of this year, 2022. That's 15 months. So typically it takes about a year. That's what my dermatologist told me. Obviously, it probably depends on the amount of blood, where it is. Mine formed right at the base of the nail by the cuticle and just took a long time to grow out. So once you get them, you're going to have them for quite a while, which is why they're no fun. Now, I had a black toenail many years ago where it actually eventually kind of lifted up off the nail bed, and I was very tempted to pull it off, but I didn't. It eventually come off by itself. But you may be tempted to pull it off. Don't do that. You can hurt yourself. If you feel like it's causing you problems and it's lifting up off the bed, please get some medical attention, see a podiatrist or your primary care provider. But we need to talk a little about what caused it and what you can do to prevent it. Well, the cause, of course, is impact to your toes, somewhere in your shoe, the front of your shoe, maybe the top of your shoe. It's that repetitive stress hitting your toe time after time that causes that damage and that injury to your nail, causes the internal bleeding on your nail, that hematoma. So obviously, a lot of things we can do depend on what we do with our shoe. So one of the first things, of course, is make sure you have plenty of toe room. I always buy a size larger than my street shoe. So you want at least a half, if not a full size. Now, if you're one of these people that like really thick cushion socks, all the more reason to get a bigger shoe, because that cushioning just crowds your toes. You know, even if I were to take my shoe and stuff it full of cotton, it's still going to compact if I push my foot forward. So give plenty of toe room, especially wear cushion socks, and if you don't, buy at least a half to a full size bigger. The other thing you can do is trim your toenails. Make sure they're cut back as short as you can. I mean, it's comfortable for you and it gives you the appearance you want to give it. But having long nails is just something that can impact the front of your shoe and more likely to cause that damage. So keep the nails trimmed. Now, once you have your shoes, there's one thing you can do, and that's using the heel lock knot. You know, if you ever look at your tennis shoes, you've got this extra hole back here. That's for doing a heel lock type of lacing. And I think I have a video on that. Let me go see if I can find it. Okay, I found it. Let me show you how to do the heel lock lacing. So I said this second technique involves using this extra eyelet on the outside of the shoe. And basically, to tie the runner's loop, you're going to take your loop, your shoestring, and you're going to feed it through that second eyelet. Easier said than done. Feed it through the second eyelet and leave a little loop there. Just leave a little loop. Do the same thing on the other side. Take the shoestring, feed it through the second eyelet. Again, leave a little loop. So now I've got two loops on either side. You're going to crisscross the leads, and you're going to take the left shoestring lead and feed it through the right loop, and the right shoestring lead and feed it through the left loop. And then you're going to pull these tight. Now, you may find you have to lift up on the laces to get them tight, but pull them tight, and then, of course, do your reef knot. Tie it. So by using that second eyelet and tying it in this manner, you are cinching your heel more closely to the back of your shoe, which prevent your heels lifting as you run. Now you may find that because you need a little extra shoestring length to do that loop, you might need longer laces. I've had some shoes where they were a little too short and I had to get longer ones, but most running shoes have ample shoestring length and you should be able to tie that with no difficulty. Now the reason this knot and this lacing is so important is a lot of toe injuries come from going downhill, and that's how I got mine last year, the one that took 15 months to grow out. I was doing a trail marathon and it was a fairly hilly course, up and down, and on the downhill I could feel my foot sliding forward, and of course I was impacting the front of my shoe with my toe, and that's how I got that black toenail. So minimizing that with the heel lock, I don't know if I had the heel lock then, I don't recall, but using this heel lock will help keep your heel back in the back of the shoe, making it less likely to slide forward and injure your toenail. Typically, black toenails happen on the big toe and the second toe because they're the longest toes. But it can happen on all toes. In fact, I've got a middle toe right now that's kind of black. I don't remember what run I did where I got it, but I have one. Probably a trail run. That's where it most happens with me, is trail run, because that's where you get more uphill and more so downhill running. So if you can minimize your downhill running, if you run maybe on the streets and it's fairly level where you are, you're probably less likely to get a black toenail. But if you have a lot of downhill running, your chances of getting one increase dramatically. So black toenail should not stop you from running if it has no pain. If you have no pain, you can obviously run. It's not a big deal. I've done it for years. But if it does give you pain or does bother you, please seek medical attention. So I hope you learned a little something today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed talking with you and being with you. If you liked it, please scroll down and hit that like icon. And if you're new here, I'd love to have you stick around. Hit the subscribe button also. Thanks again and happy running.